We're back with another pack perspective with NC State legend Emeka Emezie. And Emeka, it always seems like I get up with you after the good ones, right? NC State had
Yeah.
a big win over Georgia Tech, a top 10 victory for the Wolfpack. They've been struggling up to that point.
Mhm.
What do you think that building feels like this week?
It's electric. It's electric. I feel like that's NC State of us, honestly, to do something like that to beat the big dogs and bring them down and bring down that streak. And it just shows what this team is capable of, honestly. It's been a ride this year, honestly.
After the win, I think it was Monday, I taped my IPS in 5 feature, and we were looking back at Dave Doran's tenure
Mhm.
and some of the most memorable wins in his tenure. And three of the three that we went with, well, actually, we had four. I'll explain it to you, but all four of them you participated in. So we went with
Yeah.
number three in our list was Louisville against Lamar Jackson. Number
Mhm.
two, we split. We had North Carolina in 2021. Actually, you didn't play in the 2022 game, but you did play in the 21 for obvious reasons. That was the
Mhm.
Emeka Emezie game.
Yeah.
And then number one, we went with Clemson in 21.
Mhm.
So for you, when you think of it, the most memorable win under Dave Doran is probably going to be your most memorable win for you during your career. What would it be? What
Yeah.
would be the win for you?
I think I think the way Chapel Hill happened was that was memorable, but the Clemson win was so historic because of the history of everything
Hmm.
that's happened with the missed kick and the 9 years or 8 years they had beat us. And to have that one happen at home overtime, that was that's still probably one of my favorite games ever to watch or played in my whole entire life by far.
So for you as a player, you feel like maybe the biggest win or most memorable one was, and I agree with you. I think you could make an argument for 21
Yeah.
because of how it ended. I mean, like when you think of naming plays, like obviously you had some plays from that Clemson game you can point to, but you can think back to the end of that Chapel Hill
Yeah.
game where you know that was memorable. But in terms of just big memorable wins, it's probably Clemson, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Clemson one was it was such a team win, right? Everybody had to be a part of it. And yeah, everybody was just to come out. I think we had struggled a little bit, everybody else stay after half. And I don't know when the last time that NC State had the field be stormed. And to be a part of that year that was just incredible.
Well, it happened this weekend, and it was one of those games in
Yeah.
Mecca where you go into it, you don't have Hollywood Smothers, you don't have Justin Jolie, you hadn't been playing well. It shouldn't have been a lot of like legitimate, realistic optimism, but man, give NC State credit. They look like a different team offensively from the opening possession, and I thought CJ Bailey looked like a different quarterback. I thought he was terrific.
Yeah. He did. He did. I feel like it's fun to play up to those environments, to those the level
Hmm.
that they're coming into as well. And I think the guys that needed to step up stepped up. Like what's his Duke Scott
Hmm.
stepped up crazy. I mean, almost 200 yards rushing. Right, CJ Bailey was playing electric. He got hurt and played the whole second half just on one leg almost. It looks like everybody just stepped up in those big moments. And Caden Fordham had like 15 tackles, which is crazy to think about. Like everybody just stepped up in that game. It was fun to watch. Fun to watch.
But when you do have wins like that, what is it like in the Murphy Center? And I think probably you'd say it's great for the team you got to buy. Because I
Hmm
know for me, typically games like that, it's hard to get up for that next opponent. I know you say you say you're focused on them, but you get patted on the back all week. Everybody tells you how great you
hmm
are. It's naturally tougher to turn around and play games like that. So it's probably ideal for State they got to buy to kind of get over it a little bit, right?
Yeah, it is. It is tougher to get up for that next game. I'm thinking back to Clemson, right? We
Hmm.
beat them, and then we had La Tech the next week. It's like you have to lock back in,
Yeah.
right? It's a big win, but you have to get yourself back together. And it's a quick turnaround with everything. They have some time more to celebrate, but it is a quick turnaround because you have that Saturday night to be able to celebrate, and that Sunday you start game playing again for the next team. So it's like, all right, like you kind of have to wash it off.
I'm glad you mentioned that Clemson game because you're right. La Tech, that game was a lot closer than we
Yeah.
expected it to be after that Clemson matchup. And I was looking at 2017 when you guys went and beat Lamar Jackson. You went on the road and followed it up with a big win over Pitt. So you kind
Mhm.
of handled that one the right way for sure. So for you, when you think about okay, locking back in, getting back focused, I kind of think one of the things that's going to help you is what you already talked about,
Yeah.
the ease of getting up for the next opponent. It's Miami. I mean, you got
Mhm.
a top 10, top 15 team. you kind of know as a player you better be focused, right? I mean that
Yeah,
box should be checked.
absolutely. I think that especially with that win, we know what kind of team we are. I mean, all year we've kind of known what kind of team this team could be. And that just shows, okay, if we lock in, if we really are focused and allow our ball players to play and get the right guys the ball and allow CJ just to play out there and the defense has his back, it's like we can win the rest of these games. Absolutely. Like there's no reason that you can't.
As an offensive player, when you watched NC State play Saturday, what do you feel like you saw different from them? Was it anything schematically? Was it maybe a level of confidence? Was it just executing better? What was it that stood out to you that you felt like had them clicking at a high level? I mean, this is a team against Georgia Tech. I think they punted one time in that game.
Right.
What do you think it was?
I think that I think the offense kind of knows what it is, right? We have to be on the field, we have to be able to convert. And the the players are good that we have. That's the thing about it. It's not that we're bad players. We just maybe make mistakes that are costly and costly times that maybe flip the script a little bit. Even that Notre Dame game was close for a long
Hmm.
time. It's like we're not a bad team at all. It's just that when we do hit on all cylinders on the field, that we're able to really capitalize on those moments. I feel like that was the case then, just giving the ball to Duke, letting him run, allowing CJ just to do his thing. And I think we're just clicking honestly at all-time high.
The question now for NC State is, okay, can you go on a run? Right? Can you find a way to turn that one win into two, into three, into four, and end the season with a bang? And the game that, or the season that this kind of could set up to for me in a little bit of ways is your 2020 year. Where if
Hmm.
you remember, you guys had those two tough losses to North Carolina and Miami right after Devin was injured. And then you came back home after losing to Miami in a tight one at home and you beat Florida State. And then you followed it up with Liberty, with Syracuse, with Georgia Tech. So you ended the season four in a row there. What do you think this team has to do if you think big picture? We're going to string together some wins.
Yeah.
What is it something you think that they've got to focus on to kind of go on that type of a run this year?
Yeah, I think they just got to let the backs run, right? You have a freshman back that can run for 200. You have Hollywood Smothers, one of the best running backs in the nation. Let them run. Like, give them the ball. The O lineman looks amazing, right? Duke will hit it for 5 yards, will be untouched. Just use your strengths, right? We have Terrell Anderson. We have Joe Lee when he comes back. We have these guys. They're really, really good, but it's really easy to run the ball too. Like it's a protected play that you can have. And I think that's like the number one thing that we should be doing is just run the ball and allow CJ to play as well.
I'm clapping right now, everyone. Emeka Emezie, legendary wide receiver. He came on here and said, we got to run the football. This is a man that's giving us honest analysis, Emeka. I mean, think about it. Did you ever think you'd be saying, we
Never.
need to run the football?
I wouldn't say that if I was there, but it's just I'm a fan watching now.
Say there's difference if you're in that wide receiver room. You're still
Yeah,
saying, "Damn it, throw it!
better
I
throw
can
that
still win."
ball.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's funny because that was probably for me the biggest surprise. Like I wasn't surprised that we saw a big performance from CJ. He had been uneven in some previous games, even struggled a little bit, but you knew you'd seen him have games like that before.
Exactly.
Duke was like we've seen him in spots. It was a total unknown what you get in a full game environment from him, and you
Right.
have to feel good about this guy Emeka because he grew. He played at Stockbridge, Georgia, Stockbridge High School. I looked it up. It's about 20 minutes outside of Atlanta. So
Mhm.
think about for your first start, you get really your hometown team
Right.
in your place and to put up what 196 and a score. I mean, he's probably sitting over there saying, "Hey, Will Wilson, you took a couple touchdowns from him, man. I could get a couple of those by the
Right.
goal line too." But
Right.
still, 196 and a touchdown, man. I thought that was he was the player of the game
Absolutely.
because CJ was really good. Haynes King was really good for Georgia Tech.
Oh my
But the
goodness,
difference
yeah.
was the running game for State
Yeah.
versus and Tech has a good back. State really neutralized Georgia Tech's running back, and that
Mhm.
allowed Duke to be the difference.
Yes, absolutely. I think that when you're able to come in with limited reps and opportunities, right, you'll have like 10-yard, 15-yard, and there were it was like 5-yard carry like per carry games, but
Hmm.
to have a full game, not really understanding what it's like to have that college load and then to go for 196 and a touchdown is absolutely tremendous. And that was the difference in the whole entire game was the way he was able to run and run for extra yards, like 5 extra yards when he would get contact and the O line is pushing. That gets the team riled up as well, and that was special to watch.
Yeah, he's a different type of back because also when he got into the open field, man, he showed some speed. I was
Right.
that was probably the most surprising thing is you saw the physical ability in terms of being just a physical fall forward running back, but when he got
Mhm.
out in the open field, you weren't catching him. And
Right.
so really impressed with him. I did want to ask you about this, Emeka, and we're going to get together next week and really focus on Miami. But this is
Hmm.
interesting. I think since you left NC State, they started doing two buys in a season. And so for NC
Hmm.
State, I don't think when you played, I don't think they had two. I think you only had
Hmm.
one buy. And so
Hmm.
you've already had one if you're NC State. This one here now, you get a couple weeks after the first. Do you feel like maybe it's going to be more focused on Miami getting healthy? Like, how do you think you approach a second buy in a season?
Yeah, that is a great question. It's a different kind of because it's so later on into the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a second analysis as well, right? Especially with
Mm-hmm.
this big win, right? Like let's run the ball. Let's figure out the ways that CJ operates best. Right? It's such a great game. And for the defense as well, just figuring things out back there as well. Like the guys who's the playmakers. Obviously, Caden's making every single tackle, it feels like when you watch him out there. So really honing in on those guys, getting healthy, probably slowing things a little bit more down. You're not going to ramp it up with it being this many weeks into the season, 10 weeks into the season. So I think that would be probably the main focuses of it all. But yeah, it is a different kind of approach when you have that second bye as well.
When you look at NC State here during the bye, you want to get healthy. We know Justin Jolie, Hollywood Smothers were game time decisions. My hope is
Mhm.
Emeka, that's the truth. Because you and I both know this. If you were a
Yeah.
game, let's do some simple math here. If you were a game time decision for Georgia Tech, that should mean 2 weeks from now you're good to
Yeah.
go for Miami, right? Like if we have the
Right.
same definitions of game time here. And
Right.
so our assumption is you're using this week. Maybe you give them this week off and you kind of
Yeah.
still go fully healthy in the next week. But how do you think NC State implements those two guys back in? Because frankly, what maybe surprised me the most about State in that win is they didn't change much. It
Yeah.
felt like they ran essentially the same offense. They still gave their tight end some targets. They still heavily featured the running back. Because I thought going in, America, I thought you'd see State throw it 50 times
Right.
and
Right.
maybe not run it as much because you didn't have Hollywood. They didn't do that. They kept running the
Mhm.
football. So do you think this is a deal where you plug those two guys back in, or do you think Duke's earned more of a role, more of an opportunity here moving forward?
I think that the system works, right? I think that we've seen Roper throughout this season have a successful season and overall. Right? The offense
Hmm.
has played very, very
Yeah.
well. And I think that with what he's doing and the way he's been able to get to his spots, that it works, right? So I think that it doesn't, especially with the talent that we do have, not that it doesn't matter, but we have guys that are able to play at that role. Like the receivers, you think about all of them,
Hmm.
they are so talented, right? Teddy will have a touchdown, then it'll be Terrell, then it'll be Wesley. It's like all these guys are so talented. And with the backs, we have two backs that can go. So I would obviously play them like heavy. I would play Hollywood heavy. I would play Jolie heavy. But I think that his mindset might be that it's not necessarily to try to get these guys the ball. We're just going to run these plays, and if they get it, they get it. If not, they don't get it. You know.
Let me ask you before we get going about the defense. This is a unit that's they've been battling injuries. They've been up and
Hmm.
down. I feel like against Georgia Tech, they simplified some things on that side of the ball. And
Hmm.
because of that, you saw them play faster. Now, were they great? No, Georgia Tech still got some yards, but I thought they were opportunistic, forced
Yeah.
some field goals, had a big interception, got the big stop right before halftime to force a long kick that they missed. Do you think that just kind of at this point in the year with all the injuries has to sort of be the recipe for state on defense?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be right. If you get a couple turnovers, you get a couple big plays, then it's like, all right, a couple sacks, you'd be very grateful for it. But I think it is more of a maintenance type of thing. Don't allow those big plays, get a big stop here and there, and then the offense is going to capitalize on that ultimately. And yeah, it's more of complimentary towards the offense. If anything, it looks like a little bit this year, which is okay. You know, every year can't be the year that you just have a unstoppable defensive players like Peyton Wilson, Drake Thomas.
All right, Emeka, let's wrap this one up. NC State going into their bye week as they prepare for Miami. I'm going to ask you the same question I typically ask all of our writers going into bye week in our critical questions feature. You're
Yeah.
Dave Doran today. Let's
Mhm.
both wish we were Dave. We talk about it. Let's wish we had that check. Hey, Dave's doing
Yeah.
really well. But you're Dave Doran today. What would be one adjustment you would make with this team during the bye? It can be personnel, it can be scheme, it can maybe be injury related. What would be something you would look to do with NC State on either side of the ball, maybe special teams,
Yeah.
as you kind of get come out of this bye and get ready to play Miami?
I think I would just trust the players like a lot, right?
Hmm?
Not like you said, simplify things. It doesn't have to be some crazy play call. We don't have to do anything crazy. It works. Like, get the guys the ball. They play well. They know how to play this game. They've been playing a long time, and just trust in them. Honestly, trust CJ when he has the ball back there. Trust Duke. Trust Hollywood. Trust all the receivers. Trust all the defense. And yeah, we don't have to do anything too special. Just play some base coverages, play some base offenses, and let them just get after it. Honestly.
There you have it. NC State legend Emeka Emezie joined us here during the bye week for NC State. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe here at YouTube on our channel at Inside Pack Sports, and also check out the website www.insidepacksports.com for the latest information on NC State athletics. And make sure you check the description. We'll have all of Emeka's social contacts as well.